I'm out of school, guys. Fuck you all that aren't out of school. And fuck you all that did get out of school, but I am now officially out of school. I'm out of school. This is great because I had to do the most work probably this year than any other year. I was texting my friend Connor Sherman about it. Makes YouTube videos. Well, he doesn't make them. He has an account, Botch. But yeah, I'm happy that I am out of school, and now hopefully I might have a job. I hope I do, but that's not why I'm here to talk to you guys. Um, the night of my prom, which was in March, no, it was in April 5th, 2013, was the night of a TNA. I wouldn't really call it a pay-per-view. I'd call it really like a pay. Well, I guess you could say it was a pay-per-view, but it's like one of those show. It's kind of like a TV show in a way. Um, and this was like the Destination X version of, like, this pay-per-view was pretty much Destination X. It tributed the X division. And that's why I really liked it, because I like high flying wrestling. So this was kind of my kind of wrestling. And it's called TNA One Night Only Extravaganza 2013. It is a good pay-per-view. I actually do like this pay-per-view, but... Well, actually, yeah, I really did like this pay-per-view, because there was only one bad match on here that I didn't like, and there was no Hulk Hogan. Taz wasn't, like, talking about the aces and eights nonstop, so that was good. Which, I don't know, when you have Taz and Mike Tenay on commentary, good stuff. And then it shows like a little bit of a video package tributed the X Division. You got guys like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniel, Samoa Joe. And it talks about how the past, the present, and the future are going to be shown at this pay-per-view. And then throughout the night, it shows the top 10 X Division moments, but I think I missed one. So I'm just going to say that number one is going to be the night that Samoa Joe won the World Heavyweight Championship, because I don't know what the other one is, but they showed the first one. And number 10... Number 10 was the night that AJ Styles won the X Division Championship, and it happened in Houstonville, Alabama on June 19th, a year ago yesterday. 2000, well, no, okay, does not. 11 years ago yesterday, on June, because it was on June 19th, 2002. AJ Styles, great wrestler. They're doing great stuff with him now, but he's just a great wrestler in general, whether he's not doing shit or whether he is doing the biggest shit in the world. I really like AJ Styles. And I didn't really see who would beat before it, because one, I think I was just entering kindergarten or first grade, at that time, and then I wasn't really a wrestling fan until 2007, so I didn't really know about that. I didn't even know about TNA until 2009, but I didn't really know what that was. So yeah, but AJ Styles won the X Division Championship that night, and then we get the first match of the night. We get Matt Bentley versus Alex Silva versus Linsa, I forget how they said his first name, Dorado, versus Sam Shaw, versus Puma, versus Jimmy Wave, versus Christian York, in an escape match. What that is all those guys that I just mentioned are going to be in the ring, and the way you win the match is you have to pin all the guys in your opponent. You have to eliminate everybody by pinfall, or submission, but when it comes down to two people, you have to escape the cage. I don't know if this is true, but I thought the escape match it looked like the Elimination Chamber, but it was like red. And you got out to like the whole of the Elimination Chamber. That's what I thought it was, but I guess I was wrong, but this was a really good match. I liked it. I liked the high flying action in this match. Um, Puma and Lovato, great wrestlers. Alex Silva is a good wrestler, but they don't really want him anyways. Sam Shaw, Matt, wait, I forgot to mention. They showed another top 10 X Division moment, and it was the first Ultimate X match in Nashville, Tennessee on August 20th, 2003. Um, I don't remember. I remember Kazarian was in it, and I remember, who was it? Matt Bentley was in it, and he actually won that match by, like, when someone was trying to grab it, and he just kind of slid over and grabbed it, so I thought that was cool. And then, for the match, though, it was a good match. Christian York eliminated Dorado by doing like a suplex neckbreaker move. Sam Shaw eliminated Puma by doing a Randy Orton neckbreaker, then a regular neckbreaker. And then he eliminated. Well, he tried to eliminate Alex Silva, but Matt Bentley took the credit for that. And then Jimmy Wave eliminated Sam Shaw by doing this weird suplex kind of move. And then Christian York eliminated Matt Bentley with that neckbreaker move, and then it was down to Jimmy Wave and Christian York. One cool part about this match was when they were trying to escape the cage, Christian York did a sick neckbreaker to Jimmy Wave, and that's how the match ended. He escaped the cage. Good match. I kind of thought Christian York was going to win because he's like the guy that I kind of wanted to win. I wouldn't mind it if Lovato, Puma, and Matt Bentley, I guess, if they won. I wouldn't minded that, but Christian York's like the current guy, so I'm glad they had him win. Then it shows the number 7 of the top 10 X Division moments, and I wrote this one down. It was when Volador Jr. won the World X Cup at Victory Road, July 13th, 2008. I don't really know a lot about this, but they had like the Ultimate X thing, and I think that was when Kazarian did that leg drop to Daivari, and that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, he just won the match, so I like that. But you see that, but I remember the Ultimate X stuff. You see that stuff get used, so I like that kind of stuff. And then we get and then Anthony Reese and Rashad Cameron are being interviewed. They talk about how they want to be X Division wrestlers and they want to do anything it takes. They are high flyers, all that kind of stuff. I don't really remember exactly what they said. So then we get Kid Cash and Douglas Williams versus Anthony Nese and Rashad Cameron. This was a really good match. I didn't mind it. The heels dominate. I think it was Rashad Cameron for a while. Then Anthony Reese gets the hot tag and he does a flying move Hurricanrana over the top rope, and then he gets dominated. Then Anthony Nese gets the hot tag and cut story short. They went with I forget what they called it, but he was with Douglas Williams' finisher. It was like he did a suplex and then he rolled around and he pinned him. So I didn't mind that. It was okay. Then it shows another top 10 X Division moment. This is number 7. It shows Samoa Joe win the World Heavyweight win the X Division Championship in Victory Road, December 11th, 2005. He was facing AJ Styles that night, and he had him in the rear naked choke, and he had him there. They said for 5 minutes, and AJ Styles ended up passing out, and I guess he was still going on his undefeated streak back then. So then he was going to show respect to AJ Styles. He laid him out with the championship, and then he laid out security guards. So I like that. It was pretty good. I hope I can see that sometime down the road. Then Samoa Joe interview. He talks about how he's won the championship, and he says that he's going to break AJ Styles. No, AJ Austin Aries' opponent later tonight. I don't remember a lot of the interviews because I watched it yesterday and I had to do a bunch of stuff today. Oh, this was shit. Like I said, Robbie E versus Chavo Guerrero with Joseph Punk as the special guest referee. Joseph Punk fucking ruined it. Chavo, I'm just gonna tell you that Robbie E came out and thought he was the shit of the X Division. Then Chavo Guerrero talks about how he was the X Division and even though the Cruiserweight created the X Division and all that stuff. Then they just have a match. Joseph Punk made it shit. Then Chavo hits the three amigos on him and hits the frog splash for a win. Fuck that. Then it shows the top 10 craziest X Division moves. They showed some pretty crazy moves, I will tell you that right now. Go look this up because I don't remember all the moves they did, but I remember some of the moves that they did was just sick. So that was good. They did show the Kazarian that I told you about. Then Kenny King gets interviewed. He talks about how he is the X Division and how he's not going to be the past of the X Division. No, how he's not going to be the future of the X Division. He's going to be the present. Next match. They actually show an Ultimate X video package and and the superstars are talking about it. Kurt Angle says that he always feels bad for some of the people that have to compete in that match. And they really are talented and he wishes he could be competing that one day. So then we get Zima Iron versus Rubrix versus Kenny King versus Mason Andrews in an Ultimate X match. This was a great match. I think I put this as match of the night. Actually, I think this is the match of the night. I like Rubrix's fight movesets. He actually has really good movesets. I remember Mason Andrews suplex Kenny King, give him a superplex off the top rope while Rubrix and Mason Andrews were fighting each other. And then Mason Andrews gave Kenny King a springboard hurricanrana. Zima Iron from the top rope did a moonsault onto him. And then Rubrix went up and did a moonsault off the the cables that are being held together onto all the competitors. That was awesome. And then he goes to get the because there's like an X there instead of the X Division Championship. He goes to get that. Kenny King gets him up and hits finisher on him. I think they call it the rule of flush. And then Kenny King went, and then Zima Ion gets off. I don't remember. This match is a little bit shaky. Rubrix wins he gets the X, but I guess he has to touch the ground. So when he falls, he lands on Kenny Kid's shoulders, and then he hits the electric chair on Rubrix, but the X falls into Kenny Kid's hand, so he wins the match. It was okay. I wasn't a fan of the ending because I thought if you got the X, you won the match. So that didn't really make sense to me. And then it shows another top 10 X Division moment. It shows the rivalry between Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles. A lot of good stuff that they had with the 3-ways. I didn't really care about the stuff about last year. You can probably watch my old videos for that. And then let me get Bad Influence interview. They're talking about how they are the X Division, they're the greatest tag team X Division ever. And then she says, you guys have permission to worship. I have to go to talk, but he doesn't let her talk. It was funny. P.D. Williams and Sanjay Dutt interview. I don't remember what they said. They probably said they're gonna kick Bad Influence's asses. Let me get Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian versus Sanjay Dutt and P.D. Williams. Pretty good match here. I really liked it. the faces dominate Daniels and Kazarian for a while. Then they dominate Petey Williams, and then Sanjay Dutt gets the hot tag. Well, actually, there was one part I'd say when Bad Influence hit the elbow and then the leg drop, and then the springboard leg drop by Kazarian, and then he tags in Sanjay Dutt for the hot tag. He does high flying moves, Hurricane Runners, and everything. Then Kazarian tags himself in, and there's a jumping DDT onto Sanjay Dutt, but he doesn't get the pinfall. And then they do like a little power bomb kind of move, and they don't get the pinfall there either. Then Petey Williams goes for the Canadian Destroyer, but Christopher Daniels takes him out. He does a high cross body to Daniels. Sorry. And then Daniels throws Petey Williams to the steps. Sanjay Dutt goes to give him that little moonsault move where he goes off the top rope, and then his legs hits Kazarian's stomach. That was what he was going for. But Kazarian got involved, and then what's it called? Kazarian hit this move. It was called the Leaps of Faith, I think it was called. And then Daniels hits the best moonsault ever, and then for the win. Then they tried to attack him after, but Christopher Daniels accidentally closed. No, Kazarian accidentally clotheslines Christopher Daniels, and then Kazarian hits the Canadian Destroyer. So that's all. I thought it was fine. And then it shows Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn's feud. That actually might have been part of the top 10 stuff. But anyways, we get Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam in a no disqualification match. Before I get into the match, they talked about how this was like how Jerry Lynn was going on retirement tour. I know I never really knew who Jerry Lynn was, so because I never watched TNA, and I don't think he was ever in WWE. But he talks about how he's going on this retirement tour, so this is where he stops. This was a pretty good match. Like it was a decent match, but not the best match. They did use weapons, but I wasn't like a fan of what they did with this match. I think they probably had better matches, but this is the only match I've seen with them. I'm just assuming that because there's no way that they could have had matches like this if they were feuding for so long. But Van Dam hits the kicks on him, and then Jerry Lynn hits like a clothesline on him, and then he hits a clothesline on him when he goes to hit him with the chair. When Van Dam goes to hit him with the chair. There was one part of this match that he did that was sick. Jerry Lynn did like this. It wasn't literally like a sunset flip power bomb, but it was like kind of like that onto the chair. It was sick. And then then he puts Van Dam through the table. I forget. Oh, he spears Van Dam through the table, and then Van Dam kicks Jerry Lynn with a chair in the face, and he goes through the table. And then he hits the 5-star frog splash on him from halfway across the win. And then all the TNA superstars that were there came out and clapped for Jerry Lynn. Then hold on. I have to tell you what number 6 was. Well, no, it was number 4. Talks about Austin Aries earning a TNA contract at Destination X July 10th, 2011. What a difference a year makes. Because I'll just introduce the next one right now. And it was Austin Aries winning the World Heavyweight Championship at Destination X July 8th, 2012. What a difference a year made for him. He went from earning a contract at Destination X, which I don't know why it wasn't an Ultimate X match. Now that I've seen it, it should have been an Ultimate X match, but. And then he was all the way. He was the X Division. He beat. Oh, I forgot about one, by the way. I forgot Brian Kendrick winning the X Division Championship. So, against the Abyss at Destination X July 10th, 2011. But anyways, he beat Brian Kendrick. I remember he beat him, but I don't know when. To get the championship. And then he went on just beating everyone in the X Division. And then he beat Bully Ray. That's big thins right there. Samoa Joe, and then he wants to have a shot at the World Championship when Hulk Hogan was the general manager. And he says yes, and now that's brought in the stipulation that whoever the X Division champion is at Destination X gets the championship, gets traded in for the world title, which probably it's a bunch of BS now because there's no Destination X pay-per-view anymore. That's why I'm sitting here making this video because about an X Division pay-per-view. But anyways, they talk about how and then he gets the shot at Bobby Roode. He beats him. Great stuff. So yeah, Austin Aries won the world title later that year, a year later. So that was great stuff. So yeah, and then we get Jerry Lynn's retirement speech. He talked about how it's pretty much like leaving your family if you leave the wrestling. I'm not gonna say WWE because he considers Rob Van Dam his favorite because he's known him for 2 decades. And he also mentioned something that was funny, how that he is sorry that someone wanted to wrestle because of Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn's matches. And that Rob Van Dam said that there will never be another Jerry Lynn because he's wrestled him so many times. So it was a pretty good moment between them, and it was good to see. Well, it was the first time I've really seen him wrestle, and now it's going to be the last time. So that's kind of ironic. And so it was. I can't really say that he had a good career because I never really got to know him, so I'm not really going to say that. But I really am looking forward for Rob Van Dam to come to WWE at Money in the Bank. That is just the thing right now. I saw his match tonight, and it didn't seem like he cared what he was doing. If that makes sense. The Rob Van Dam I watched in WWE in the past, he busted his ass. He worked his ass off in WWE. Money in the Bank, he won it. And John Cena. But this Rob Van Dam wasn't working for me. He's not the Rob Van Dam that he was in the WWE, ECW, the Alliance angle even, I guess. So I think that Rob Van Dam could be better in WWE. Because he's got the Daniel Bryans, he's got John Cena's, no, actually he's the same now. Randy Orton, he's different now, so he has to work a match with him. He can work a great match probably with with the Shield members. I can't really say the Wyatt family, but he can work great matches with Kofi Kingston when he comes back. Antonio Cesaro, that would be boss. Sin Cara. I think Rob Van Dam's going to do just fine in WWE because there's the high fly. Well, there was a high flyers there before, but I think Sin Cara is great. So I really am looking forward to Rob Van Dam going to WWE. But that's a video for maybe Raw and stuff. And then I think we have the last match of the night. Oh, wait, we got Austin Aries' interview. He talked about his World Championship, pretty much everything that I just said, except... And, yeah, so I'm not really going to talk about it too much. So then we get Austin Aries versus Samoa Joe. During this, it shows the top 10 TNA moments. I've already talked about one of them was Austin Aries winning the world title. I'm going to talk about another one, and that was a triple threat match. They call it 3 ways, but I'm calling it triple threats because that's WWE, because WWE calls it triple threats, so I'm kind of brainwashing saying that. It was between Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels at Unbreakable, September 11th, 2005. They talk about how it was a great match. Daniels says it was a great match. AJ Styles talks about how he will never be brought to the limit that he was that night. And Samoa Joe says he's upset that it came a little bit short, but he still remembers it as one of his greatest matches of all time. So I think AJ Styles won because it showed him with the championship. So I don't need that. I don't need the top 10 stuff no more. So let's just skip to the last match of the night. We get Austin Aries versus Samoa Joe. This match was a pretty good match. Good main event. I was the ultimate. Actually no, because I think 2 former world champions main event and it makes sense. Samoa Joe kind of chases Aries around a little bit. He throws him into the steps. And then Aries drop kicks his knee and then while he's coming in the wind, so then he takes out the knee. He does foot DDTs, leg sweep moves. He does one part. He jumps off the turnbuckle and jumps on his knee, and then he does the figure four leg lock, and Samoa Joe turns it around reverses it into like the reverse version of it, and then I think he got the ropes, and then Samoa Joe went to jump on the outside, but his leg gave out, so it wasn't working for him. So then Aries dived out on the outside. Awesome stuff. And then he did the drop kick to Samoa Joe. Then he finally came back because he kind of no-sold the drop kick, and then he clotheslined Aries and he spun around. And then Samoa Joe came back with clotheslines, scoop slams, stuff like that. And then Aries tried to go back to the leg again, but he got caught in the rear naked choke. And then he started to pass out. But when the referee went to check his hand was underneath the bottom rope. So then Joe had to break it. So then Samoa Joe ran into him in the corner, but he failed. And he hit the drop. Aries hit the drop kick in the corner. He went for the brain buster, but Samoa Joe counted into a face first suplex, and then Austin Aries went to hurt him again, but he got caught with the STO in the corner. Goes for the muscle buster. And Aries reverses it and rolls up Joe for the win. This was a good match. I actually did like this show. I don't think it was. I think it's worth watching, but it doesn't really build any angles or anything, and it's not like it's predictable, so it's like cool. And you get to see Jerry Lynn's final match for those of you that are Jerry Lynn fans. I'm a fan of him now, but I think the only thing that was really bad on this show was the Chavo Guerrero Robbie E match. That's about it. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm probably going to be back I'm going to be back later on tonight for my TNA review. And then I'm going to be back tomorrow for SmackDown. Maybe for that next one night only thing that they had. But that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.